Hi everybody, still shopping for that perfect chair for this perfect spot. So if you got any ideas, just let me know. Right now these chairs are pretty comfortable and they're very easy to move out of the way if I need to. But today's video is about pet safety when you're traveling. It's very important to know all about pet safety. And today we're going to talk about pet sitters and maybe you finding the perfect pet sitter. Now I'm going to tell you, I got my sister here and she helps out time to time. She did this last unexpected trip, which she's a godsend, and I used her during my 10 days on the cruise ship, the Carnival Sunshine. I thought you would knock the camera over, and so yeah, so it was perfect. But I do have a pet sitter, and how did I find her? And it was no easy task, let me tell you. So I went on Rover, and I found every pet sitter within a 15-mile radius. I wouldn't go any further than that because I would have to pay them for their miles. At least that's how I feel. And I put in a description what I wanted, what I had. I had just about every one of them jumped at it. Okay, they jumped at it. Problem was, each Saturday, because I had plenty of time. I had almost a year, so I had plenty of time to interview all of these. I set up interview every Saturday, one at 11, one at 3. So I had plenty of time. No one was rushed. I can get to know, I can see if I feel comfortable, see how they interact with the dogs. Only one, we'll call her Veronica, showed up. She has a great daytime job, not far from here. She has the ability to be mobile, perfect, and she was able to stay here at night. That was even better yet. And she did what I asked. I had a written down, description for everything. And the best part is, she gave me, and I didn't was a daily snapshot of the babies. Even if it was a little video of them eating, she gave it to me. So the first trip we used her, it was on Disney. It was a 10-day trip. It was great. I took care of her through the trip. I forget, halfway through, I paid her half the money, and when I got back, I paid her the other half. And that, I was very pleased with that. And I was really happy with that, actually. So that was great. And I was able to keep an eye on the dogs as well because I have a camera here. And since I have this large open concept, I can see my dining room, my kitchen, my front door, my other half of my living room, and the huge open concept right here that I'm able to see the dogs during the day. And that's the important part. And I'm also able to see the farm animals as well, and the front door. So it's all win. And I kind of like that. I really did. So without spying on anybody, the only time I ever looked at the camera, and the camera is not constantly recording. It's got little spigots. So when you walk in your room, you have to act, gives you 10 seconds. And if you're still moving around, gives you 10 more seconds. It's actually quite nice. It's not a constant reel of recording, but you could actually hit the button and record it if you think you need to record. And it saves it to your phone. And I really did like that. Now, finding that pet sitter, especially me, who has a small farm, someone who is not afraid of animals, and someone who's really not afraid of lots of animals. Because I'm not just, I'm a goat breeder, okay? I breed pets for children that's learning, how to take care of goats and things like that. And 4-H, and if as they get older, if that's what they want to do, be in goat competition, that's great. Now, I have 3 females and 2 male goats, and every now and then I may even have babies here. So that's pretty cool. Now, the best part about all this is I do save animals. I have saved two pigs, Clyde and Spot. Spot was 7 days old. Spot's now going on a year, and Clyde's like a year and a half. So that was a promise I made. They're not food. I saved two geese. They are pets. They are the most friendliest things on earth. So don't let anyone say, oh, geese are evil. Geese can be very affectionate. And then I have my chickens, and my chickens there's a time when they're all laying, I got like 30 eggs a day, okay? So, yeah, that's very, very important when it comes to laying eggs. Now, so you have to have someone who's patient and will follow your directions when it comes to your animals, and is not afraid to walk into the pasture. And it's hard to find that. Now, we do have a couple towns over on Rover called Farm Pet Setters, which are great and hard to find, but none in my area. So, but Veronica, well, that's what we're calling her, she is all that in a bag of chips. So let me tell you, um, she has she's very flexible. I don't like throwing last minute trips out there, so she will be doing the NCL trip that it's coming up in about 35 days that we just booked, and that's great. So you have to find one who has a real job and yet is flexible. That's very important. My animals are very important to me, and I'm able to talk to them every day through the cameras in the house, and so they can hear my voice. Right, Brutai? Right, Brutai? So, as you can see, they are big dogs. They are short dogs, and I have, I would say, 3 bullies, and I have a mix, and I have a corgi who is the oldest of them all, and he is the retired herd dog. So that's important. So there are big scenarios when it comes to a pet setter. Now, I also have family, and I have to say one of my policies is pay your family like you would pay your pet setter. Don't ever assume that because they're family you shouldn't pay them. I've had a lot of people come up to me and go, why would you pay family? Well, it's like I had 2 sets of children. I had the older set, and then 10 years later I had another set, and when I needed to go out, and the first set was old enough, took all the courses to be a babysitter, I paid them, and it's their time and it's their job, and I paid them. So that's the same as I would say recommend if you have a good pet sitter and it is a family member and it's someone that you trust and you want to keep using them, I would pay them. Don't use them because you're trying to save money. It's not good, okay? And I've had people say, well, I was using my sister, but she decided she wanted to get paid. Well, that's not always the case sometimes. But if you travel a lot and you have a job that requires you to travel a lot, yes, and you use a family member or you use a pet setter, pay them. Pay them in a reasonable amount, tip them, treat them as family. Christmas, I give mine Christmas gifts. I acknowledge them at Valentine's, St. Patrick's Day. I acknowledge my pet setter all year round for things like that because they're hard to find. Pet setters are hard to find. They don't usually stay in the business long due to it's hard to get continuous customers. Not everyone can afford pet setters. Yeah, and that's a shame. You should be able to be affordable, and I like that. I like that a lot. But they're very important in this day and age with people who have pets who do travel. Now, I also have an RV and a pop up. There's times when my pets go with me. Now, not all my animals go camping with me, is because as they were puppies, they were taught to go in a car just like their parents. My three little guys here, terrified. They're just terrified. They're not good car travelers. When we moved, it was it was an experience. Okay, big experience, and they was just a nervous wreck, and there was nothing we can do to make it better. So on that aspect of things, so Brutai here, and then we have Spartacus. They don't go. Deacon or Forgy, he is the traveler of all travelers, and Cinnamon is as well. She loves to go camping. She's the tent dog, and Deacon, he's more upper crust puppy. So so we do all kinds of travel here, and they've all stayed in hotels, and they were doing so well. And we made sure we made this trip back and forth many times a year, and other trips, that the puppies were integrated. They just don't have that mentality to do travel. They won't even voluntarily get in a car to go to the vets. So it's like a a fight. So that is my recommendations for pet setting. If you use a pet sitter, if you use family, use both. Treat them as the biggest respect, because I know I've had my nightmare pet setters. Okay, and let's get into that. In Maryland, this girl became so highly recommended, and I did get her off Rover, and I got her from highly recommended from other people as well in local neighborhoods. But Rover does a background check. And my first red flag says, "Oh, you don't have to pay me through Rover." First red flag. Boom. Should never listen. I had cameras. I just turned them off while I left for vacation. I didn't ask her. If she wanted the cameras on. I found out that she was leaving them. They were tearing up the house. One ripped up my floor in the dining room. Then one tore this was before these puppies, okay? And then she tore up my fancy furniture in my fancy living room. Now, this is a dog that never did that, okay? Never did that. I had pet sitters in the past, and problem was my pet sitter went away to college, and she was awesome, and she lived 2 miles down from the house. So that was a horrible mistake. Second mistake was I asked my daughter if she can a year in advance, and her job would not let her off. So she got a friend of hers that I knew, an older lady, and she was a dog groomer. And I wasn't real thrilled. And she said, "Well, Mom, she can stay at the house. I'm not paying her because you were doing this for me." And she goes, "Yeah, it's her birthday. That was a part of the gift. So you're gonna have to pay her." Well, let's just say I had 30 chickens. By the time I got back, I didn't have any chickens. She came out with every excuse. Well, I tried to put them in the chicken coop, and they wouldn't go in. You can't put chickens in the chicken coop. You gotta wait till the sun goes down. And she says, "Well, I'm not going down there at nighttime. I don't walk that well." I'm watching her walk. She walks just fine. And it was just, she didn't offer to pay to replace the chickens. They were my son's chickens. My house stank. Okay, it stank. So let's just say, even with friends or someone you know through your child, you still got to vent them. But you think she's a dog groomer that that she would understand the policies and why you have a little book on how to take care of your animals. So lesson learned. Lesson learned, okay? So that's why when I moved down here, I was going to screen them. And screen them I was ready to do. And when only one out of I think there was at least 11 11 in the area. Only one responded and stayed here for 3 hours and had no problem interviewing me, walking through the property, learning where I keep things. Was great. And what's sad was all these pet setters that responded, and I set up a time. It didn't waste my day, because if you're not here in a half an hour, Donna moves on. It's just as simple as that. Time is precious in my world, and I don't know about yours. And you probably go, gosh, she's. I'm sorry, but I wanted to get that out to you. I wanted you to know my experience with pet setters, and my friends have had experience with pet setters, but I have a great pet setter, and I treat her like she's family. So if you have one, make sure she knows how appreciated he or she is. That's the biggest thing in the world. And if you use family, make sure they're appreciated as well, and pay them what you would pay a pet setter. Don't discount it, okay? Because it is their time, and it's like a job to them. And it's teaching them responsibility if they're a young one, or if they're, you know, an older someone in your family. So, because Brutai, he appreciates it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this helped you out also trying to pick and choose a pet setter, and the do's and don'ts of pet setters, because there are pet setter nightmares. I've had them. And so that's why I have cameras, and I do not turn them off the time, but they are motion censored. It's right up there. You can't see it in this video. Right, Brutai? He's just a big old ham, isn't he? He is. And they're so spoiled. There's Deacon right here, and then his brother Spartacus is just one around me. So I hope you liked this video, and I can't wait to see you at the next video. Ta-ta for now.